G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of my FIFA 23 Chelsea Career Mode series. I come to you in a sour mood right now because we have lost again in the Premier League, this time to Aston Villa, and our poor run of form is continuing. And my patience is starting to wane thin because Graham Potter continues to make simple mistakes, the players continue to not get the job done, and it is just so frustrating week after week us not getting the results that we desire, because it does feel like we're in a situation where it's like 1 step forward, 3 steps back. Despite the disappointment in real life, in game it is going to be an absolutely stacked episode full of entertainment. March is going to be a huge month for us in terms of fixtures, and the results will dictate how much success we have towards the end of this season. Obviously, if we go back here and have a look at what's going to be happening in this episode, the first thing being a simulation in the FA Cup up against West Brom. Then we will be versing Liverpool in the Premier League, which is funny because I did not expect that. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out the last episode because we did verse Liverpool in the EFL Cup final. It was an absolutely amazing game. I highly recommend go checking it out because I'm not going to spoil it now. But that will also be happening in this episode as well. And then we will be completing our second leg tie in the Champions League up against Juventus. And that will be a huge game because I very much so want to be winning that thing. And after our good performance in the first leg, we now come to Stamford Bridge with the 1-0 advantage, and hopefully we can get the job done. This will be the team that lines up against West Brom. It is a slightly weaker team, but it is a team that is still far better on paper than that West Brom team. So let's begin the simulation, as well as discuss some of my thoughts on that Aston Villa performance in real life. And it was one of those games where, you know what, I think that Unai Emery's Aston Villa are a great example, a great recent example of a team that dramatically improves with a coach that understands tactics and has a clear plan and can execute that onto this team that are full of good decent individuals, but when they do their jobs all really well, they perform very well as a team. Because when you look at the Aston Villa lineup, their team is not full of A-listers. But then when you look at the Chelsea team, it is. And it's one of those situations where I feel like Chelsea are becoming a team where we are performing like a team of individuals. And Potter, he has to be questioned for his lineup and for his tactics, especially his second half tactics. Obviously, the first big talking point that everyone is mentioning is the fact that Reece James played in that right centre-back position. And I think if you're ever going to play the formation where you have the wing-backs, Ben Chilwell and Reece James are the only players in our squad that can play those positions. And when Reece James is not in that right wing-back position, as Aubameyang gets the first goal of this game here, we just don't create anything that looks deadly on that right side of the field. And I understand that Potter was trying to play Cucurella and James in those sort of pivot roles so that they could push forward and help, dictate play with Koulibaly sort of in that role behind. But it didn't work. And Potter refused to change his tactics and just stuck with it the whole game. Even after Loftus-Cheek, failed to create anything of substance in the first half. And halftime here, obviously 1-0 in favour of the Blues. Let's continue on. Nothing to complain about as of right now. We're doing decent so far. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that Mason Mount gets a second goal. Bloody good job there. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that in the second half, after being down by a goal to nil, there was just no sort of attacking flair or link-up play that seemed like there was sort of a desire by the players to actually change the result. And I don't know if that's a mentality thing that is being passed down by the management into the players, or if it's just a like sort of a self-belief thing with the players themselves. I really don't know, as the result does go to 2-1 currently in the 60th minute. But the players keep possession, but there is no sense of venom coming from any of their attacking movement. And it's, you know, nice to watch us pass the ball around and make those switches from the right side to the left side out where Ben Chilwell is. But at the end of the day, you need to be creating opportunities and putting the goalkeeper under pressure and creating shots so that you score, just like Aubameyang did just now. And in the second half, I did not see that, and I have to question Potter's tactics again for that, because at the end of the day, I understand it's his job to help the players, you know, play in a way where they can create those opportunities, but against Aston Villa, we did not create nearly enough, and that was severely disappointing because our attacking link-up play between the likes of Mudryk, Havertz, and Felix, and when Gallagher came on, and, you know, obviously the wide players as well, it's just not working, and I don't know what specific thing it is. I have a feeling it is the personnel, honestly, because I don't think Havertz is good enough. But it's just disappointing to see week after week we create opportunities, but we can't get that damn ball into the net, and we've actually been able to do it 4 times in this simulation against West Brom, getting a very comfortable result, and it is a progression in the FA Cup, something that I am very, very happy to see. There are lots of rumours circulating in the football world, especially now that Thomas Tuchel has become the manager of Bayern Munich, that there might be a huge clear out of some of the dead weight in the Chelsea team, and that is something I am in favour for, but it would have to be specific players, because some of the players that I am seeing circulating in the news that might be departures, I don't actually want to leave. Like Mason Mount, for example. Obviously, those contract negotiations have stalled, but I am definitely in favour of players like Loftus-Cheek making a departure, because he has demonstrated on multiple occasions that he can't consistently perform to the level that is required. And there's a few others, like maybe Kai Havertz. I wouldn't be upset if he left, but I don't know. I do think that we need to sort of trim out some of the dead weight that's in our squad so that Potter can just continually play a starting 11 that makes sense and gets results, because with all the chopping and changing, as much as I'm in favour of having a larger squad so that you can rely on many players when there are injuries, inevitable injuries, I don't know, it's just not working right now, and Potter just needs to stick to one definitive starting 11 and make it work. Of course, it was really pleasing to see N'Golo Kante make his return to the main team and play on the field at Stamford Bridge. The timing of his substitution could not have been worse, I feel like. Obviously conceding that second goal, and then to him just get thrown into this situation where the result really was unresolvable. So I feel sad for him because he comes back into the team and it's a really poor result. But I do think that the Kante-Fernandes partnership is something that we may see in the future. But I do think him coming back from this long-term injury, he will have to be a super sub of sorts, coming off the bench to either help solidify a already positive result or to help chase a lead. Kind of similar to what he did with Aston Villa, but hopefully being able to get the ball in the back of the net. So let's get prepared for this Chelsea game. This is obviously our strongest starting 11. Our tactics are going to be keep the ball when we can, but try and dink it in behind the Liverpool defence, which we did have success with last time out in the EFL Cup final. Obviously, big news coming out of the football world. Bayern have signed Thomas Tuchel to be their manager. And when I saw all the press conferences and the photos with him in the new Bayern kit, It was really sad to see because it reminded me of how good of a manager he is and what a personality he is to have in the dugout and in and amongst this team. And it feels like sort of a relationship that you have with a girl perhaps, and she moves on to another guy, and you see that on social media and it just digs at your heart, and it's just like, oh, you know, we had something so good together, but now you've moved on and it just, oh, it sucks. It really does suck. And obviously Tuchel has come into a Bayern team that is in a situation where they're pushing for the league title, and they have a very interesting dilemma in the Champions League, obviously versing Manchester City against Pep Guardiola, which Tuchel has had lots of success with against that team. But also, if Bayern win that game against City, and then Chelsea somehow beat Real Madrid, we would verse each other. And if that happens, I do not want to... I honestly, the thought of that just gives shivers to my spine, because I do not want to see Tuchel up against Chelsea trying to beat us, because that would just be absolutely heartbreaking. In saying that, let's just get ready to play this game. Hopefully it's a positive result here at Anfield, because it's one of those things, in-game it's been a difficult run of form for us, similar to real life. It's always like one step forward, two steps back. But at Anfield, as opposed to Wembley, that is a much different story, and it is going to be a lot more difficult, that is for sure. Good pass out to Chilwell there. Finds Havertz, who's not able to find a player there. We had two options and we weren't able to find either of them. Oh, that's a great switch. Beautiful pass out to Jota, but Reece James had it covered all the way.
Like there's been a goal at the Etihad. Over to Alex for the details.
Can we get Reece James in? Continues his run. He does get the ball somehow. Very scruffy.
Teammates. Chilwell. And now Havertz.
Surely. Oh, Alisson gets down low, pushes it to the side, goes out for a corner. All right, let's whip this in with a bit of pace. Isn't able to find Thiago Silva's head. Henderson cuts it out, runs to the sideline with it. And there's no Chelsea players helping Havertz out here. Everyone just rushed back into their shape. And Salah's going to make a run here. Fofana's just able to keep up with him. Salah putting on a clinic here. Lots of good dribbling, but he overcooks it. And Chilwell is able to dispossess him. Goes out for a corner though. Oh, Havertz, come on. Whoa. Deflects it straight to the goalkeeper. Not complaining though, we've got the ball back. Havertz is making a run in behind. That's a good run. It's a great pass. Here we go. Oh, no way! Alisson stayed on his line for the longest time and then came out at just the right moment. I did not expect that. Oh, Salah is looking very dangerous on that right-hand side for Liverpool. He's created another corner for his teammates here. Havertz, on his defensive duties, is able to clear it to the sideline, but this second effort is unsuccessful. And Badiashile this time pushes it over the byline for another corner. The pressure is mounting here at Anfield. Havertz again! Right spot at the right time, clears it away. Not able to get the follow-up clearance though. Surely, referee, it's half-time. Just clear that, Silva. Half-time. Thank you, please. Referee. Letting the game go on far too long there. But 0-0 going into half-time at Anfield is definitely not a bad result. You know, we've had a few opportunities. Again, like I said at the beginning of the game, it's all about getting those balls in behind that Liverpool defence. And if we get another opportunity like that Havertz one, we must bury it. Well in, Silva. Rushed up at just the right moment. Enzo's got it here. Puts in James of all people. Oh, the tackle was sublime. Beautiful work by Liverpool there. Diego Jota is probably going to put the afterburners on, but he can't beat Fofana. Well in, son. Let's get James's afterburners on here. Let's actually find the pass out to Felix. What was that pass? What was that? Oh my goodness gracious me. He's got his left boot on his right foot. That was absolutely disgusting there by Felix. What a awful, awful pass. Oh no. Mistake. No! Oh, I thought I timed the tackle to perfection. Oh, no way. Oh. That is so unfortunate there. Thankfully, we got away with only a yellow card. Bottom right. Oh, he goes bottom left instead. Liverpool are a goal to the good. And unfortunately, it is that man who has looked most dangerous throughout the game, Mohamed Salah. Now it is going to be even more difficult. And for some reason, in the Premier League, we're just cursed. We just can't get anything positive going for us. Every other competition, the Champions League or the FA Cup, we've just continually got good results. But in the league, just not good at all. And that's his 24th goal from 27 games. The man is in form, that's for sure. And that's how quickly Liverpool can flick that switch. And the game has just gotten out of hand so very quickly. I don't understand how that space is afforded to him. You know what? I think I may have made a mistake in the lineup again here, lads. Because in the last game, I swapped out Silva for Koulibaly because he had that pace, had that agility to keep pace with those attacking Liverpool players. And in this game, I decided to stick with Silva. And I hadn't even got Koulibaly on the bench. I think that might be what's costing us, guys. In saying that, I am going to have to make a change somewhere in the middle of the park. Mason Mount, hopefully he can come on and do something positive for us here, because as of right now, we're just getting dominated and the momentum has shifted so severely that we've gone down by 2-0. Oh, and it's a horrible, horrible pass by Mudryk there. Just so off the pace. Everyone not able to do their jobs with any efficiency here, and Chilwell just gets absolutely turned inside out. Mendy makes a save. I've brought Aubameyang on just to try and get something different up top for us, but I think it's all too little too late. Oh, off the line. Oh, what is going on? This is absolutely unacceptable defending here. Thiago Silva, why is he the one making the run? Let's get Chilwell in here, hopefully. What am I doing, man? I should have just kept running. Like, just trying to be too intricate. Trying to overcook it. And 2-0, I think, is going to be the final result, unfortunately. It's all just come falling apart here at Anfield. And that is just a great example of what this team is doing in-game. We are just constantly fluffing our lines and making mistakes and just putting ourselves in such a shitty situation in terms of our league standings. Mid-table is not good enough for the Chelsea Blues. And Liverpool are the ones celebrating here, but This should not have been the start to this month. Like, especially after beating them, recently as well. Like, we just played so well at Wembley. And then we come here and just play so very poor. Just an absolute shadow of our former selves. It just shows you that I think in game sometimes they create these situations, scripting, as us FIFA fans are so familiar with. They've scripted us in such a specific way that we just can't get anything positive in the league. That's what it feels like. Because how do we verse Liverpool in the EFL Cup final and play really well against them, and then verse the exact same team like a couple days later and just get played off the park? And it's just not good enough. How can Chelsea get a win? This isn't the time to panic. On a run like this, we need to be honest with ourselves and work out where we're missing. And honestly, it's just putting the ball in the net. Like, I just haven't scored nearly enough goals as I should be. Our defense is constantly making mistakes, and on legendary difficulty, you can't afford to be making mistakes. It's as simple as that. That was a crushing defeat. Will it damage your team's confidence? Look, all those answers are true to an extent, but I'm going to go with this one. We weren't strong enough physically. At the end of the day, players like Mohamed Salah, like Darwin Nunez, they're going to be making those runs. They're going to be getting opportunities to score. And as a defender, you need to be thinking 2, 3, 4 steps ahead in order to close out the space and not allow that shot on goal and protect your goalkeeper as much as possible. Are Liverpool just a better team than you right now? You have to learn from setbacks. There will be other games against Liverpool in future, and I'm sure 2 defeats won't be followed by a 3rd or a 4th. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I think we've learnt our lesson. Thiago Silva, as good as he is in real life, in game, his stats just keep going down, and he's not reliable. So I think Koulibaly, he's 87 rated. I think I might have to stick with him in that central defensive role with Fofana and Badiashile either side of him. And I've actually decided to bring in Cucurella into that left centre-back role just because Badiashile's fitness is about the same as Fofana's, but I just don't trust Badiashile with that same amount of fitness. So I'm going to bring in Cucurella there. And I've also tried to change up the attacking players as well. Aubameyang, he's been in good form in all the simulations that we've had. So I'm going to give him a go in this game, as well as Felix and Havertz either side of him. So with the 1-0 advantage on aggregate going to Stamford Bridge, I expect that we will progress. But Juventus, with that team, are definitely not a snooze fest. Now, because the Premier League has become such a shit show, both in-game and in real life, the importance of this competition has been raised exponentially. We must win it. It's as simple as that if we want to be playing Champions League football next season and giving us the prestige that comes with that and the possibility of signing more world-class players. And I think it's a situation where Real Madrid is, of course, not going to be an easy game. I think we probably will get dominated and played off the park. But it's a must-win competition. We have to win it. And honestly, it's one of those situations. I don't think Potter against Ancelotti is going to be well equipped enough from a tactical perspective. But hopefully we can turn up and get the job done. Because what I've noticed, and I don't know if you guys agree, if you do, let me know in the comments below. But Chelsea give me the sense that they are a big game club. And what I mean by that is we always perform when the stakes are high, when we've got a big rivalry going on or something like that. Havertz should have been getting his head onto that. Why did he not? Like, there are games like the ones against Dortmund, or, I think of games in the past, both in the Champions League or sometimes even the Premier League against our arch rivals, like where we actually show up and look like we care and want to play on the front foot and chase a lead or score goals. But then when we verse teams that are so-called beneath us, like, the Aston Villas of the world or the Southamptons of the world, we just don't show up and play football on the front foot and try and dominate teams and, crush them with our superiority. And that makes me beg the question, does Chelsea, with our mentality, have a superiority complex? Are we looking at teams that don't have as much prestige as us and not giving them the respect that they deserve. Because in the Premier League especially, there are no easy games. And let's whip it in here, surely. Oh, Felix. Enzo, gets tackled. I don't know, guys. I do think that there is a sense that we have a superiority complex and that we just don't go into some games with the right mindset and with the right approach. And I don't know if that's something that's passed on by the coaching staff or it's the players themselves, and we've made a mistake here. But it's definitely something to be concerned by. That is for sure. Now we've got to do some defending here as Juventus chase a lead. Fernandez, just maintain your shape. Don't allow any silly passes. Well in. Oh, just bypasses the midfielder, but Kante still didn't get it in the end. Well, it's a good pass in behind here to Di Maria. And thankfully we had 3 players swarming him, not allowing him to get into that space. And Aubameyang, he's not fast enough. And that's why I have Havertz normally in the starting 11, because Aubameyang, he might be a good finisher, but he's nowhere near the player he once was. Oh, here we go. Whip it in, surely. And again, why is that not going to Aubameyang's head? Every time the cross is not going to the person I want it to. Oh, the explosive pace comes out of nowhere. He found a gap in between Cucurella and Koulibaly there. The two that cost us that first goal in real life almost cost us the first one here in this so very important second leg. Oh, the skill moves, the dribbling, the constant unpredictability of this Juventus attack. Surely someone just tackle him. Well in, Chilwell. And he's kept it in as well. We've been able to keep possession. Let's try and get a counter-attack here. Can we maybe find Aubameyang? Oh, beautiful. Pass it to James. Hit the back stick, son. Someone, get a head onto it. Oh, the goalkeeper makes the recovery, and his second effort is one that is successful for him. Got the ball back straight away. Can we get Aubameyang in? Oh, his first touch is awful. It was towards the defender. He should have touched it to his left, and then maybe even drilled it with his left foot. Unfortunately, we're unsuccessful again there. And Chiesa, he's outpaced James. He's put on a skill move, but he's not able to beat the formidable Koulibaly. And the result is still in our favour going into half-time. It might be 0-0 on the night, but that so ever important away goal is keeping us in the driving seat. So I'm not upset yet, but I would love to get a goal to put us into a bit of a comfort zone. Oh, that's a good touch there. Make a tackle. Well in for Fana. Time to perfection. Alright, 57th minute, I'm going to make a change because Aubameyang, he's just not going to be the one to score us a goal, I feel like. So what I'm going to do is take him off and bring on Armando Broja. I think with his pace, he will be able to find those spaces and hopefully get us a goal. So that's what we're going to do now as Juventus prepare for this corner. Let's see what happens here. Oh, João Felix making an easy tackle. Let's just clear it out of here. Oh, that's not where I wanted it to go. It's worked out for us, though. Such a scrappy passage of play. Somehow we've got away with it. No, not yet. Oh, Cucurella's been absolutely done by Di Maria. And Di Maria runs it out of play. No idea what he was doing there. Oh, Enzo with a shot on goal. Twisted his body, made a good turn. The touches were good, which afforded him the space to shoot. Unfortunately not, but now we've got a corner for ourselves. I'm going to call João short. Whip it out here. Oh, it's a tame shot by Enzo Fernandez there. Not unleashing the Chelsea Lion there. Juventus are sitting really deep and being really compact here. Let's whip it in, surely! Get in! João Felix gets the goal! It was an absolutely sublime cross by Ben Chilwell. He finds the head off Felix. He's in the right spot and just powered it and directed the ball past Chesney there. No chance of saving it. His feet are not correct and he dives well but is not able to get a hand to it. And I was not going to be surprised if it was Broja or maybe even Havertz that was getting on the end of it there. But it is the shortest of those three who gets his head onto it. And Juventus not defending very well, creating the space, not man marking properly. And it's this man, the man who got the goal in the first leg, gets a goal in the second leg and puts us ahead by 2-0 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night, 70th minute. I'm feeling comfortable. Oh, plenty of space here for both Felix and Broja. Unfortunately, we've overcooked it, but the pass and the turn by Broja was all magnificent. And unfortunately, we're not able to score again, but we have got a corner. And this is the time where I'm actually going to make lots of changes here. Lots of defensive ones as well, to just sort of secure things at the back, make sure that we're looking good and not conceding a goal that, you know, shifts the momentum towards Juventus's favour. Let's just whip it in the air, see what happens. No one's able to get on the end of it. Let's just pass it back out here, not do anything silly. No reason to give up possession now. Let's just keep the ball. Oh, so many pockets of space is opening up now. Juventus, I'm not quite sure what they're doing from a defensive perspective. Oh, and Zakaria not able to get past the defender there. Not use his explosive pace. And Badiashile, the substitution, comes on with his fresh legs. Well in Badiashile. Not able to get the second bite of the cherry. But Zakaria makes the interception. Oh, no. Oh, well in. Oh, bad first touch. Oh, a bit of a hectic end towards the game here. But it's an absolutely horrendous shot. Right, the 92nd minute has been struck. We've got the ball back. And I think that should be full time there, referee. And that is it. Thank you very much. We go into the next stage of this competition. It was a lot easier than I was expecting. Juventus are a team that have, you know, lots of good players, but I expected them to perform better both in the home and the away leg. And even though it wasn't a convincing scoreline, we got the job done, and that's all that matters. And João Felix is the headline act, and he has got us the goal that has secured this result, and it is 1-0 on the night, 2-0 on aggregate. As I said earlier, very, very pleased with the performance here today. Now, I have to say that in the Champions League, I don't feel like my players are as clumsy or as sluggish on the ball. But when I play in the Premier League, that's the sense I get, and I don't know why that is. I do feel like there's a sense of scripting going on here. But it is what it is. We've just got to keep pushing through and keep grinding out results, whatever the competition is. Just one goal in it. Are you happy with today's performance? We gave ourselves something to hang on to. That's so important. Going to the away leg and getting a positive result to then come to your home stadium where you've got that advantage, it just makes a huge difference. And being able to get a goal in the second half to secure the result, I think it worked out perfectly for us. So you must feel confident. How far can this team go? Let's build on this. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Obviously, there's going to be teams that are in this competition still that are very good. I don't know who we're versing yet, but I'm very intrigued to see how we go because obviously Juventus, they're not an easy team, but we were able to breeze past them with some relative ease. How do you think Havertz did today? Kai is a top player. Kai is an excellent player. He's really strong in all aspects of the game, so I've never had any doubts about playing him in that position. And whilst I think that's true in the career mode, in real life, it's far from the truth. With the defeat in real life, to come into this episode with a sour taste in my mouth, it wasn't ideal. And unfortunately, leaving this episode, I don't feel like it's been a fantastic episode in terms of results. I hope you've still enjoyed it. Obviously, we started with a win, played dismally against Liverpool, and then we progressed in the Champions League against Juventus. So, ups and downs, but I think that's a great reflection of the Chelsea season. Of course, if you haven't already, make sure you're letting me know your thoughts on the Chelsea team in the comments below. I'd love to engage in a conversation down there with you guys. Smash the like button, as you guys always do. And if you haven't already, make sure the notification button is turned on so that you get notified as soon as these videos go live on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Come on, you Blues.